Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another week of Nick the Geek. How are you guys doing? Well, this week we're going to talk a little bit about type 3 equations. We have been talking about type 1 and type 2 equations in the last couple lessons. And this week we're going to just work a little bit on type 3 equations, which is going to be very, very easy if you already have seen the previous videos. So welcome, and here we go. Well guys, as a first glance we can observe that, well, the type 3 equation is one of those equations that's going to result really simple. X is going to appear more than one time in the equation, and then you need to combine the X or the variable that you're looking for. Then after combining, you'll get a type 1 or type 2 equation. We're going to do a couple examples. Take a look at this equation. As you can see, the X is 2 times here. So we need to combine them in order to solve the equation. So we're going to do a couple examples, and if you have any questions, just feel free to ask in the comments. Thank you very much. And okay, let's see. Okay guys, for this first example we have 4x plus 2x equals 8. So the first step is combining. X is here besides the 4 and here besides the 2, right? So we can combine them because it's the same x, right? So 4x plus 2x is going to be 6x, right? 4 plus 2 equals 6, and x remains because it's the same variable that we have there. As a result, we're going to have a type 1 or 2 equation. In this case, we're going to have 6x, which is the result from here. 6x is going to be equal to 8. And now we can solve for x. How do we solve? Leaving the x alone. We have seen this in previous videos. So x would be equal to 8 divided by 6, because 6 is multiplying the x here in the left side. So if you want to leave the x alone, you just need to move the 6 to the right side. But since the 6 is multiplying the x, if you want to move it to the right side, you just need to make it dividing. Then after having 8 divided by 6, we can reduce this because both are even numbers. So 8 would be 4 times 2 and 6 would be 3 times 2. And as we have seen before, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So the result is just 4 divided by 3. That's our first example. As a second example, we're gonna solve this equation. So for x plus 3x minus 3x will be equal to 10. The first step is to combine. So for x plus 3x minus 3x, we're gonna do it by chunks. So we know that 4x plus 3x, 4 plus 3 is 7, and x remains, so 7x minus 3x. This part remains the same. Now, minus, if we multiply minus times a negative number, it's going to be positive. Minus times minus is going to be positive. So this is going to be 7x plus 3x. And 7 plus 3 equals 10, and x remains the same, so it's going to be 10x. As a result, we're going to have a type 1 or 2 equation where we know that 10x is going to be equal to 10. If we want to get rid of the 10 that is next to the x, we can see that the 10 is multiplying the x. So in order to get rid of this 10, we move it to the right side, but we can't make it multiplying because it's already multiplying in the left side. So we must bring it down and divide the 10. So in that way we have left the x alone. So x would be equal to 10 divided by 10, and the result is 1, because one number divided by the same number is 1. That's our second example for the day. Okay guys, and as a last example, we're going to take a look at this tricky equation that we have here. And it's tricky because the variable is below the division. So the first thing we have to do is to combine. What can we combine? The only thing we can combine here is the 3x plus the 2 plus the x, sorry. So 3x plus x, 3 plus 1 is going to be 4, and the x remains. The number in the top part cannot be combined because the number is alone, doesn't have a variable. So now we have a type 1 or 2 equation. 500 divided by 4x equals 2. And now we have to leave the x alone. But in order to do that, we need the x on the top part, not at the bottom. So in order to do that, everything that is below, we move it to the right side. Since it's dividing here on the left side, we move it to the right side, multiplying, the inverse operation. So 500 would be equal to 2 multiplied times 4x. So 500 would be equal to 8x, because 2 times 4 is 8. And now we need to leave this x alone. Now we can do it because the x is at the top right now. So how do we do that? We bring this 8 to the division part. So 500 divided by 8 equals x. And we can reduce this number because both are even numbers. So both can be the result of a number multiplied times 2. In this case, 250 multiplied times 2 and 4 times 2. The result would be 250 divided by 4. But again, we can keep reducing this, and the result will be 125 divided by 2. Well guys, that's type 3 equations in a glance. So thank you for coming this week. Thank you for watching this week's video. If you like the video, just hit subscribe, and more videos will be coming. We still need to talk a little bit about type 4 equations, so that's gonna be our next step. So thanks for coming, and if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. So thank you very much, and hope to see you next week on our lesson. Take care and have a good weekend. Bye guys.